Alright, I've kind of wanted to do a video for a little bit. I've done a couple on just doing your crosses. I wanted to kind of do one to kind of going from like somebody who's just starting out stringing to getting to be a little bit more advanced, I suppose. Everybody on the internet, when you watch them, they all tell you, keep your, well, I'm going to say all of them, there's some of them that don't. But keep your crosses straight. When you're pulling your crosses, keeping them straight. And I've talked about it, I think, in one of my last videos, where I just focused on crosses, talk about, hold them up, pull tension, yada yada, blah blah, like that. And that'll keep them fairly straight. And I've actually got another racket set up to kind of give an example of something. So what I'm wanting for you guys to pick up out of this is, you got, and a lot of it just comes with experience. And when you're sitting here just looking at the racket, I mean, I can tell they're fairly straight, okay? They're straight enough, I'm not going to have to straighten any of these up when I take them off the machine. But you got to learn your string. So like this is a Torbite, Slinko Torbite, 16 gauge. So if I just leave it relatively straight here, it's going to pull pretty straight. It may not be dead on, it's got a little curve, but it's not bad. But you can push it up and that'll straighten it up. If you push it up here and you hold it hard, for the most part, Torbite, Hyper-G, RPM, a lot of your polys, for the most part, are going to go ahead and straighten up. And that one's got a slight curve up, but it's not bad. If you just push it up and pull it, and that's pretty straight. It came down a little bit, but I was able to straighten it up. And what I mean by reading your string is, and you'll really run into it with some multis and sin guts. You'll run into it more with those than a lot of your polys. I do have a poly set up on this other racket that we'll get to here in a second. But you kind of got to learn. So like this one, if I just pull it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a definite smiley face. I'm hoping y'all can pick that up on the camera. But there's a definite smiley face. I didn't push it up, didn't do anything with it. If I just push it up and pull, still got a little bit of a smiley face, but it's not too bad. But you got to kind of figure out, if you're pulling and you're holding it up real tight and you notice this one's really curved up, then you're pulling too tight. You're holding it up there too tight. You kind of got to get a feel for how hard or how tight you got to hold the string to keep it straight. Okay. And again, you'll notice it with a lot of multis and sin guts a lot more than you will with polys. But again, if you hold it up, I'm not going to hold it up real hard, just enough to let it kind of work its way down. And I can tell from looking, that's pretty straight. Oh, it comes across the camera like that too. But now, let me run this across here and we'll move to the other racket. Okay, hope I can do this without making it too bad because I don't have editing software. Okay, so this is a Diadem Solstice Black. And same thing, and this is my racket, so I'm not too worried about this. If I pull, I'm holding up pretty firm. I don't know if that comes across or not. I don't know if I can move this over, but definitely curved up, okay? I'm gonna leave that. And again, my racket, don't really care, I'm not that good a player. And the reason I'm showing you this one, even though Slinko is a shaped poly, a square, this is a really shaped poly. It's a lot harder to weave, because it grabs your fingers as you're going across. But because it's so shaped, it doesn't really move a lot on the string. I'm hoping that's coming across on the video, just how curved that is starting right here. And what you'll notice, especially when you're going, when the smiley faces, if you get a little bit of a smiley face, your next string is going to have a little bit more of a smiley face. One after that will have a little bit more. So what might start as a going up, it's not too bad because you have string up here providing some tension, keeping it from getting worse. But going down the right, let's see if we can actually do that. But the main point of the video is for you guys to start, and I've always called it reading the string. Know what you're stringing. If you're up here like this one, oh, okay, so that one I know is curved up a little bit. We'll straighten them out just a little bit. Go ahead and straighten them. Don't be afraid to straighten your string. So I know I don't want to hold it as firm up there. And that one's quite a bit straighter. Just look, oh yeah, that one's great. But just kind of figure out how hard you need to hold them up, if you need to hold them up, if you just need to push them up a little bit. I mean, you got to kind of figure that stuff out. Okay, we're going to go with smiley face here. See if I can get it to actually do it. Okay, so we're going to do the first one. That's smiley face. I know y'all can see that. I had a guy tell me one time, I was watching him string, and I told him, well, why don't you keep your string straight? Said, you got these big smiley faces. He said, well, because it's a constant pull machine, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to tell you, it matters. Because I can promise there's not as much tension in this one as there is this one, because this is a shorter piece of string. So once you straighten that out, you're going to lose probably 10% tension on that. So notice that one's even worse. That's what I was trying to say is, if you get the smiley face and you're not keeping your string straight, they will feed into it and they will get worse and worse and worse. And by the time you get to the bottom, I mean, it's freaking you. So keep your string straight. But the main thing, okay, again, my racket, so I don't really care that much. Oh, wrong thing. Because I'm not a very good player. I can't move around on the court. Anyway, y'all need to know about all that. Little puller, this is actually for badminton rackets. Pull that out, starting it. Well, even though it's mine, I still don't want crappy string job. Hold it up a little bit. The straighter you keep them, the straighter they'll go as you're stringing. So anyway, that's really all this is kind of watch your strings. You can tell when you pull a string if it is making a smiley face. You can tell if it's making a reverse smiley face, whatever you want to call it. You can tell if it's going relatively straight. That's pretty straight. So you can see all that as you're stringing. So if you're on here and you're like, oh, hey, that one's got a little curve to it. Does it have a little curve to it? I tried to make them curve at the beginning. That one does. That's pretty good. And you don't have to use one of these. You can use your fingers, but I'll tell you, you get into a tournament or something and you sit here and do that enough times with your fingers are going to hurt. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to explain is watch your crosses as you're pulling them. If they're staying up, don't hold them up as hard. Let them come back down a little bit. You know, don't, if you have to, just make a minor adjustment. But don't wait until you're down here and you're 10-15% less of your pulled tension because your strings are curved so much to make your adjustments. Make them as you go. You know, don't wait to the end. Again, might not have got anything out of this video. Don't even know if it made any sense, but I'm trying to get you to go from beginner, and I'd say a beginner is anybody, me personally, 500 rackets or less, you're a beginner. because you're still filling stuff out up to 500 rackets. Once you get past that, you're becoming an intermediate stringer. But just pay attention to what you're doing. Keep your rack, keep them straight. Because the straighter you keep them going down, the less tension loss you've got in your racket. Better your string, better your dynamic tension will be. And the more consistent you can be, the more you're going to get people to come back to you. So anyway, I'm going to finish these 2 rackets. I got some more sitting over there, got to get done too. So if you got anything out of it, hit like. If not, yeah, I guess keep going. Have any questions, feel free to ask.